I
it's
prided
safe.
myself. I actually prided myself on not being attached, right? Not being attached to any particular worldview, any belief system. And yet, when push came to shove, I found how hard it was to really, really reevaluate some of the things that I held close to my chest. It was not easy. Um, the stuff that I really felt I'd taken on board and embodied. Um, even though I thought I hadn't attached to any of it, even though it was ugly. I'll just be really honest about that. It was ugly and it was painful. And, but I always fall back on, I don't know what I don't know. And if whatever belief system I'm holding at any particular moment needs to be reevaluated or needs to be completely eliminated, as painful as it is, I'm up for it, because my hope is always that it leads me one step one step closer to that objective truth. And it's
Hmm.
truth I want above and beyond anything else.
And
Yeah.
it's seeking that gets us there. And
It's being open.
it's a difficult thing. That's exactly, and an openness and a willingness to kind of allow information to come in, even if it challenges the way that we see things. You know, we had a certain guest on our show, and I'm not going to name him by name, because I don't want to embarrass him. But he was challenged to explain where he got his information from as it pertained to galactics and whatnot. And he was so befuddled that to me, it was very revealing. It's like, how much information that is out there do we just tout around because we heard it from someone else and it sounds good, or it sounds like something that we want to believe in? You know, that's why I read the quote from the Buddha a couple weeks ago, is because of the danger in just swallowing information as true when we don't know it to be true. Now, that's not to say to discover truth has to be discovered based on personal experience. That's not. There's a lot of examples that I can come up with that any personal experience that that the engine, that runs a car is an internal combustion and it needs all these components in order to be able to run. I've heard that from other people. I don't know the science behind it, but I've heard it enough to know that it's true. But there's a lot of things in the new age, even in the alternative media circuit, they're just too swallowed whole. Our job as truth seekers is to go through information and find the parts that just because it resonates doesn't mean it's true. That's a common misconception. How much of what we've experienced in the last 2 years resonated, and it turned out to be bullshit. A lot.